Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Sinclair and I would like to take you through a few revision strategies for English, literature and English language to support your students, your children. We're going to go through the specification and then look at what the expectations are from us as an English department, and then some strategies for you to support your child to work at home. First of all, the specification. So we do AQA. Paper 1 is a language paper which is fiction based, and paper 2 is non-fiction. In both of these papers, they get unseen text, so text that they've never seen before. They answer comprehension questions for the reading section, and then they have a writing option afterwards. It's important to note that the written section, the writing question, question 5, is half the marks on each paper. So being able to form an argument for non-fiction is very important, and then creative writing for paper 1, which is our fiction paper. Breakdown in the marks there, 24 marks for content and ideas, and then 16 marks for SPAG, which is like your technical accuracy. English literature, bit of a different beast. We do, as our compulsory text, we have to do Shakespeare. We choose Romeo and Juliet. Inspector Calls is our reader. Our poetry anthology cluster of 15 poems is Love and Relationships, not Power and Conflict, which is the other cluster. Unseen poetry is also compulsory, which we study in school. And then our 19th century text is Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Don't worry about that one. This year, that is not a required text, so your students will not have to do that. So, homework and class work. It's 8 hours per fortnight that your children have with us as teachers. We would normally set at least 2 homeworks per term. Realistically, with year 11, it tends to be more like every fortnight, one piece of kind of set or directed work at home. However, we would expect that students are completing work at home as much as they can each week as well. I'd say at least 1 to 2 hours for literature and for language. Now, it might be making a mind map of key quotes. It might be doing practice questions. It might be using revision websites such as GCSE Pod and Seneca, which I will direct you to in the coming slides. These are our recommended revision guides from CGP. They're quite accessible, pitched for the GCSE AQA exams. Before you go and buy these, they're about £6 a pop. Just check with your student that they haven't already got them, in that some students, if a student, for example, is entitled to a free school meal, we would provide them with these revision guides. So just check that your son or daughter has not got one already. They can always ask us as well. As each year, as year 11s leave, we encourage them to bring back their revision guides. So we've nearly always got a few of these in the cupboard anyway. But if you want to buy a revision guide, these are our recommended ones. CGP, about £6 a pop. You can get them secondhand as well. I like World of Books and Abe books as well. Dual coding, great theory. There's a lot of research to suggest that this is a great way to revise. Now, some of my students think they're revising if they're just highlighting their notes and making them look all pretty. That's not really revision. If you want the notes to go in your head, dual coding is a much better way. And the dual coding strategy really is that you write a key quote and then you do your own illustration. And you don't have to be Da Vinci or Picasso. It's just about that idea that you write and then you make your own picture. It seems to go into your mind better. And I've put a couple of examples on the screen here. A couple are from my year 11 class, and a couple is a lovely Romeo and Juliet quote that someone else has done. But you get the idea. So dual coding, write a key quote out and then do your own picture. Stick them up around the room, okay? Stick them on the fridge. If you think how many times your teenager is going to be going to the fridge, imagine if there's some key quotes on there. That's going to be going in there. Okay. Microsoft Teams is our main medium for kind of setting work. Do look at the assignments and encourage your students to look at those, but it's also about looking in the Files tab. So, for example, teachers in English will often put a revision guide for each subject they're doing in the Files tab, and your students can have a look there. If there's not anything in there, ask the teacher. You know, we can find you past papers if you're not able to find those. These are our 3 main recommended websites for revising English. Seneca is my favourite, okay? It has lots of things like multiple choice. So, and it might be, you know, drag and drop the correct answer to complete the missing word in a sentence. It's great for students because they get fairly instant feedback about what the right answer is. It's great for teachers because it'll tell us exactly how many minutes each student has spent on there. So if the student says, "Oh no, I've done loads of revision," you're like, "Okay, show me," and then you know, it might say they've logged on and spent, you know, 2.5 minutes on there. In particular, it's great for revising literature for themes, characters, quotes, and you can kind of drop in and out of courses on Seneca and spend as much time as you'd like on there. GCSE Pod is short revision videos. Some love it, some hate it, but it's worth pursuing because they're really detailed but in short chunks. So it might be 5 minutes on Romeo and Juliet on the theme of fate and destiny, or 4 minutes on Anne Inspector Calls on the theme of gender inequality. It's a great way to revise. BBC Bite Size is just nice short, you know, as it says, bite-sized chunks of revision. Really good for poetry, really good, I would say, for literature. For language, it's got things about writing skills as well. So those are our 3 recommended websites. They should be spending weekly time on one of those websites. I don't mind. If they really don't like Seneca, do GCSE Pod. If they really don't like GCSE Pod, do Bite Size and Seneca. But the students need to be spending time revising at home on those websites. And then we have Fairfield High School website. Okay, if you look under the student tab of the website, and then revision guides and past papers, there are past papers there as well, and some revision guides for free. Once you've done all of them, come back to your English teacher and we can provide you some more. But that's a great first port of call. Student section of the websites, then revision guides and past papers. The BBC News. Okay. Paper 2, non-fiction. There's a whole paper on non-fiction, and so often students just aren't really aware of what kind of contemporary quality journalism is like. Teachers aren't allowed to have a political bias, so I'm not going to kind of talk about the politics of any other news websites, but I do think that the Guardian news website has good level vocabulary, broad range of topics, and it's high quality journalism. Also, there's no paywall on there. You don't have to pay for it. Other newspapers also have websites, but a lot of them you've got to pay for. So I would go BBC News or The Guardian, read an article, discuss it with the family, okay? So, you know, a lot of Year 11 getting news from social media. You know, TikTok is not a news site. So read a news article, discuss it around the table, okay? We all have busy lives, but if you can discuss the world around us, contemporary news topics with your children, that's massively going to help them with being able to articulate an argument, which they need to do to write any essay is articulating an argument. But in particular, paper 2, the question for English language paper 2 is building an argument. It might be in the form of a letter or a speech or an article, but students need to be able to articulate their point of view. And what better place to go to than the BBC website? The Day, we've paid a lot of money as a school to subscribe to this, and some guys set up who are like ex-accountants and like, look, we've got students who are at that funny age where they're getting a bit older than Newsround, but they're not quite at the stage of reading, you know, The Economist online. So it's kind of like Newsround, but it's articles designed for secondary age students. There's a link which we were going to do the. What I'll do, I will get the link sent out on the Year 11 Teams pages, but where basically you don't have to pay for it. So normally you have to pay for it. They give you like 2 free articles and then everything's like you have to sign in now. But we've paid for it. So if I send you that link on parent mail and on the students' team pages, you can access that for free as well. Okay. Here's a great example. You can pull Romeo and Juliet quotes and spectacles quotes off the internet, print them out, stick them all around the house, okay? Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night. A lot of my year 11 can recite that now because we've drilled it in, but get that stuck up and around the house. Last one. Okay, I'm an English teacher. Of course, I'm going to say reread the literature text. And of course, I'm going to say getting your child reading regularly is really important. But actually, these film versions are a great way to revise, okay? Watching with the subtitles on, and then actually the Shakespeare, they are also reading the Shakespeare. But it is going to massively help with things like plot, character, remembering key quotes as well. So nothing wrong, guys. Do encourage them to watch the film versions of the literature texts, okay? So a whole host of ways to revise. If I just go back, what I will do, guys, I will send this out as a link so you can watch it. But also, you know, do check what your students are revising and that they're using Seneca, BBC Bitesize and GCSE Pod. Okay, I hope that is helpful. Thank you very much.